Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the RotoBaller Radio Waiver Wire Series. I'm your host, Anthony Aniano. Happy to be with you here today as we take a look at some hitters available on the waiver wire for Fantasy Baseball Week 10, the week beginning Monday, June 13th. Don't forget to win big in 2022 with rotoballer.com's MLB and DFS Premium Pass, which includes 15 exclusive lineup tools, daily DFS cheat sheets, and our new Team Sync platform. Use RotoBaller's exclusive hitter projections, pitching planners, DFS value plays, research stations, lineup optimizer, and more to help you win big. For a limited time, get your MLB Premium Pass for an extra 10% off using the discount code ACES. Visit rotoballer.com, sign up today, and start rotoballing like a boss. All right, everybody, don't forget, like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel. Check out all the great content here, courtesy of me and the rest of the RotoBaller crew. Make sure you watch the Week 10 pitching waiver wire as well. Download the RotoBaller app for your phone for all the latest news, information, and articles for whatever sport it is you are looking for. Baseball, football, basketball, whatever it may be. All right. So waiver wire, week 10 of the season, midway point of June, June 13th. We always throw a catcher at you, and we start with Toronto Blue Jays. Their organizational's number one prospect, MLB ranked number 9 prospect, Gabriel Moreno, just called up. Listen, let's be honest, the Toronto catching situation is a logjam. Alejandro Kirk's been hitting the ball. Jansen was hitting the ball, but there's a need now for Moreno with Danny Jansen with the finger injury. So Moreno getting called up and could see some starts. And if you're desperate for a catcher, Mike Zunino just placed on the DL. Gabriel Moreno is available. Just to backtrack real quick, as always, full disclosure, recording this on Friday, June, I believe it's the 10th. Well, yep, Friday, June 10th is when I am recording this. Before the Friday night games. It's late afternoon on Friday. So obviously any stats I come at you with today can change over the course of the next couple of days. And Yahoo.com roster percentages are what I always go by. And going back to the catcher I mentioned, Gabriel Moreno, 15% rostered on Yahoo. So he's out there and available. Considered a strong defensive catcher and a high contact, high batting average talent at the plate. Currently this season at AAA, hitting .324 with a .380 on-base percentage, a AAA OPS of .780. Not flashing much power, only 1 home run, 23 RBIs, and 18 runs scored. But you're in desperate need for a catcher, at least for the next couple of weeks. He should be getting at-bats. He should be rostered, obviously, in any 2 catcher formats as well. Tough to find the catcher who has the potential to hit over 300. And even if it's only short term, Moreno of Toronto can provide that for you. Now, let's take a look at some corner infield options. 2 names to mention. First one is with the White Sox. Jake Double Cheese with Bacon Burger. With time to pay attention to the 2017 first round pick of the Chicago White Sox. Only 3% rostered, and his last 14 days have been outstanding. Batting 5th or 6th now in that White Sox lineup. Third base, DH, doing both for the White Sox. And you say, Anthony, wait a minute. Jake Burger, third base, I thought they had Moncada. Well, here's a newsflash. Juan Moncada has been terrible, and we need to pay attention to that as well. If you told me you were considering dropping Moncada, I wouldn't recommend it, but I wouldn't stop you either. Okay, Moncada currently hitting .136. Moncada currently with an on-base percentage of .186. I mean, that's abysmal. That's demoted to the minor league level stuff. 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Meanwhile, you got Jake Burger over here at only 3% rostered on Yahoo. Over the last 14 days, hitting .351. 4 homers, 9 RBIs, and 8 runs scored. On the season, his batting average is up to .267. 7 home runs, 20 RBIs, and 15 runs. An on-base percentage of .317 and an OPS of .817. One of the highest, it's actually the 3rd highest OPS on my list of players to mention here today. So Jake Burger, they're finding ways to get him at bats. I know players on Chicago have to get healthy, and they've struggled for offense at times this year, but Jake Berger's providing it a heck of a lot more than Moncada is. If you need a corner infielder, he's getting enough at-bats to make himself useful. Another infielder and outfielder who's available, and I was surprised he was available. I mentioned him a few weeks back, but Brendan Donovan of the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, a player with this level of versatility needs to be on rosters. Currently on Yahoo now, second base, shortstop, third base, and outfield eligible. I could have put him on any category I wanted here today. I listed him as a corner infielder, only 30% rostered. Last 14 days hitting .295. On the season, the batting average is .304. They kind of move him around the back end of that batting order. He's hit 5th, he's hit 6th, he's hit as low as 9th for St. Louis. But a .304 batting average, a .418 on base percentage, and an .840 OPS, second highest on the list of players today. Now, the problem with Donovan, only one home run, not flashing much power. 15 RBIs, 15 runs scored in the season. .295 with 6 RBIs over his last 14. Now, the question becomes with St. Louis, and Josh Hayes and I discussed this the other day on SiriusXM, where does he play now that Tyler O'Neill is back, Dylan Carlson is back, Harrison Bader. So St. Louis has their outfield back. Arenado's the primary third baseman. Tommy Edman is at second. Edman's at short. Gorman is at second in a platoon situation with Sosa. They're not playing Gorman against lefties, and Gorman is striking out as expected over 30% of the time. And we know Goldschmidt's at first. So the question becomes, what does St. Louis do now with all of their pieces back, but Donovan hitting? Well, we have to look at the DH position. Do they continue to roll with the Albert Pujols platoon at DH? Or do they do what a lot of other NL teams are doing, and that's circulate players through? Give Arenado a day off. Give Edman a half day off and let him DH. Let Donovan DH. Let Gorman DH, so forth and so on. I have a hard time believing Donovan falls out of the lineup. If he's in a daily lineup setting, he is fantastic, Donovan, in a daily, because you could play him, like I said, second, short, third, middle corner, and outfield. So when he's in the lineup, you could put him just about anywhere to replace anybody who has a day off. As far as other middle infielders are concerned, Luis Garcia of the Washington Nationals just called up, over the last couple of weeks, and in minimal at-bats, hitting .300 with a .313 on-base percentage. 7% rostered, second base, shortstop, middle infield eligible for the Nationals. As the Nationals, right, the Alcides Escobars, the Cesar Hernandezes, that's great and all, but that's not a rebuilding situation, okay? Garcia has been hitting towards the back end of the lineup, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like I said, .300, .313, .779 OPS on his short stint right now at the major league level. A homer, 6 RBIs. Again, I say it every week, there's not enough 300-plus hitters at the major league level to ignore players who are hitting .300, even if the power is deficient. If you're in a league that's a 5x5 roto that uses batting average, Luis Garcia is helpful as a middle infield position. Now, before he got called up, he was hitting .314 at AAA with a .368 on-base percentage and flashed a little bit of pop in the first 2 months of the minor league season with 8 homers, 32 RBIs. So he can drive the ball out of the yard. Okay, it's just a matter of does he do it at the major league level. But the batting average has remained consistent since his promotion. At both the minor league and right now in his major league stint this year, he's displaying a nice approach with only a 17% strikeout rate. Cup of coffee last year, look for him to get a longer stint in the Nationals middle infield for the remainder of this season. Speaking of young players who have come out of the woodwork, I shouldn't say come out of the woodworks, come back from the dead. Bryson Stott of the Philadelphia Phillies. I know Didi Gregorius got activated off the IL, but Stott continues to hit, and no coincidence, hitting since Joe Girardi was sent to out the door by Phillies management. Okay, second base, shortstop eligible, makes him middle infield eligible, only 8% rostered. Now, if you look at the season-long numbers, not very pretty. Okay, 182, 243 on-base percentage, 546 OPS. On the season, 3 homers, 16 RBIs, 14 runs scored, and a stolen base. However, he's been playing every day, batting 7th or 8th in the lineup. And over the last 14 days, the batting average has been .313. Over the last 14 days, he has all 3 of his home runs, including the walk-off against the Angels. Over the last 14 days, 9 of his 16 RBIs and 10 of his 14 runs scored. Philly had him up at the start of the year, struggled, they sent him down, he's back, Girardi's gone. Bryson Stott continues to hit now for the Philadelphia Phillies, and if you need a middle infield option, again, decent batting average potential, a little bit of pop, Stott again is available. Like I said, only 8% rostered on Yahoo. Now, if you need a middle infielder with some speed, take a look at John Birdie of the Miami Marlins. Another 8% rostered. All three middle infield players today, less than 10%. Now, second base, third base, outfield. Like Brendan Donovan, middle, corner, outfield eligible. I love it. 267 over the last 14. 282 now on the season. More than respectable batting average. On-base percentage is fantastic at 396. And the big number, OPS at 820. Sign me up for that as well. Big number I like with Birdie, he's running. Over the last 14 days, 7 of his 9 stolen bases on the season. Fantastic numbers. He's running. I have people in leagues asking me to trade for Harrison. They want Harrison Bader and his stolen bases from me, and that's fine and dandy. We could talk trade. And then I look on the waiver wire, and John Birdie's 9 stolen bases are sitting there for anybody just to claim. All right, before you go crazy, see what's out there. John Birdie and his stolen base potential on pace for 20, sitting there on the waiver wire with a 282 batting average. It's a lot of speed to be sitting around on unrostered at this point in the fantasy season. And finally, a couple of outfielders to mention. One is a repeat from last week. We're not paying attention, folks. Garrett Cooper of the Miami Marlins. First base outfield eligible. He's up to 40%. It's better than last week. Probably the last week I'm going to get to mention him. But he continues to rake. On the season, it's 319. But my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, over the last 14 days, it is 469. Can't get much better than that. On base percentage for the season is 386. OPS, 864. It's the highest OPS on my list today. 4 homers on the season, 27 RBIs. 2 of those homers and 12 of those RBIs over the last 14 days. He's locked in that Miami lineup, hitting second. So he's on base, he's driving in runs, he's scoring runs with 20 runs scored on the season. And you got to be excited over 319 on the season and 469 over the last 14. You're going to add him, put him as a 4th outfielder. You're going to add him, make him your corner infielder. And you're just going to plug and play and walk away while he remains this hot. Roman Laureano of the Oakland Athletics is back for the A's. Remember, he served that 80-game suspension. And over the last 14 days, Laureano is hitting 340. He's only 33% rostered on Yahoo. Another play that could give you a little bit of pop, a little bit of speed, although the pop hasn't showed. Who knows? Maybe that pop was falsified by the PEDs. We shall see about that. On the season, though, hitting 255. Last 14, like I mentioned, 340. OPS is 692. A homer, 7 RBIs. 4 stolen bases on the season, 2 over his last 14. Hit second or third in that Oakland lineup. And he'll play every day. Plays center field, plays a good center field. And he's hot over the last 14 days, hitting 340. And finally, if you need the sleeper power ad, look no further than the Pittsburgh Pirates outfield. And Jack Suwinski. Who? Jack Suwinski. You know, the guy batting third for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The guy who on Yahoo is only 5% rostered. And the guy who leads all National League outfielders with 8 home runs on the season. Now, he's not the average guy you want. On the season, it's 235. Although over the last 14, it's sitting at 333. But on the season, 235, 289 on base percentage. I don't love that either. The OPS, though, is 768. Why? Because he hits the long ball. All right, 8 homers, 16 RBIs, 18 runs scored, and 2 stolen bases on the season. Everybody says, Anthony, some weeks you do too much power. Some weeks you talk about stolen bases too much. Well, today we had a little bit of batting average. We had a little bit of speed, and I found you some power. Jake Suwinski of the Pittsburgh Pirates, only 5% rostered. Catcher, Gabriel Moreno. Middle and corner infield, Jake Double Cheeseburger, Brendan Donovan all over the field. Middle infield is Luis Garcia, Bryson Stott, and again all over the field with John Birdie for some speed. Outfielders, Garrett Cooper, Ramon Laureano, and for some pop, Jake Suwinski of the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right, everybody, don't forget, go to rotoballer.com, like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel, and make sure you download the RotoBaller app ASAP. Follow me on Twitter at Aniano Fantasy. Make sure you check out the picture video as well, and we'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen. Stay smart, stay safe. Have a good one, folks.